This is the greatest scientific research ever, revolutionizing theory and practice on health and saving the life of our planet in a multipolar world. The aim of this study is to assist the people and governments of our planet on the main concerns humanity is facing today, from health issues and the climate and ecological crisis to a possible world war and extinction. It starts with healthcare systems and moves into major diseases, beginning with cancer and going into the philosophy of medicine, and how the new conception of nutrition I show in it can balance our cells and establish health, and how the power of cells defines the genus of a child while showing the causes of infertility and the nature of the immune system. It goes further by showing how aging and obesity can be prevented and reversed, the unscientific effort of modern governments to prevent pandemics with vaccines, and how infections and epidemics can be stopped and prevented. For the first time, it shows the 4 fundamentals of the origin of life and the philosophy of plants, the scale of the ecological catastrophe and recent developments on hunger and food, and how we can deal with those threats with a new conception of agriculture and a set of policies. And because all those fields depend on politics, economics and finance, geopolitics and energy resources, the study shows those realities and how to use them to overcome these crises. Of paramount importance is the first chapter on healthcare systems. It is the most comprehensive study in the global literature, bringing into light for the first time all the principles of Hippocrates and those principles related to a state. And in light of those principles, it shows the multidimensional crisis of the sector in recent decades, of every social paradigm, its causes, and the way out of it. Of particular importance is the study on cancer, because it outlines for the first time its main causes and the principles through which it can be prevented, stopped, and reversed in every phase. But the philosophy of medicine, in which are included depression and anxiety, the nature of consciousness, nutrition, blood, brain, mind, pain and healing, the nature of the immune system, and, in an exclusive chapter, the causes of aging, the nature of DNA, and in another chapter, obesity, infections, allergies, and epidemics, since they are related to the science of medicine and health, is tantamount to the study of healthcare systems, because without it, no healthcare system, public and individual health, can be achieved. Of the same importance is the study on the philosophy of plants and the ecological catastrophe, because there is no awareness of its true scale, and hence a new conception of agriculture has been introduced and its principles outlined so as to overcome the ongoing crisis. Because the health of our planet depends mainly on the political power of the most powerful countries of our time, this study shows the causes of the multidimensional crisis in the US while comparing it to China, Russia, and the EU, and in particular the effort of Trump to deal with them, because it faces the greatest challenge it has ever faced. Domestically, a very fragile economic system, and internationally, an economic bloc much more powerful than the Soviet Union, the BRICS, led by Russia and China, which was developed mainly as a result of US geopolitics in Ukraine. Hence, it shows for the first time China's economic counter-strategy against the US, for which Trump is not fully aware, and America's failed strategy in Ukraine and Russia's counter-strategy, and the efforts of Trump to reach a peace deal with Moscow, and how he will be obliged to change the narrative in favor of Russia and comply with the rules of war set in motion by Putin, while predicting the future of the multipolar world, with the EU facing geopolitical turmoil for many years to come. Because all these powers depend on available energy resources, this study outlines their principles and shows how to develop them, and, by doing so, stop not only wars and the ecological catastrophe on our planet, but also the shift of the magnetic field of the Earth. Ili Permetti is a journalist and an author of multiple studies on political philosophy and sciences in general. This research had as a point of departure his particular pain when his cousin died because of cancer, and his general pain in relation to the pain our planet is experiencing, particularly in the last decades.